All right, we have more movers on Wall Street that are getting our attention here. Schwab Network's Sam Vadas is with us. And we'll start with Kohl's after its quarterly report. Good news.
And a very big move to the upside this morning, Nicole. Up at 21% shares in Kohl's today. A big morning, big move, as I mentioned, off the back of a fairly good report card out from this company. Let me read you some of the takeaways at a headline level as far as what we got from this. It topped estimates on the top and bottom line. It tweaked guidance for the full year. They are looking for a new CEO. They've got some leadership changes, and obviously they've been trying to turn things around as well. So there are a few of the takeaways as far as what investors appear to be cheering this morning. By the numbers, we got adjusted EPS, as we can see here on the screen, of 56 cents, which was a clear beat on estimates of 29 cents, and revenues raking in their $3.55 billion versus the street's estimates of $3.31 billion. So, in fact, that was actually down 5% as far as sales are concerned. So it's important to keep that in mind. But interestingly, because they did tweak the guidance, they're expecting net sales to decrease between 5% and 6% from last year versus 5 to 7% of a decline, which had they previously been estimating. So that was the good news. So sales and shares have both been under pressure, as we know, over at this company. Sales have been falling about 3 years in a row now. Shares had been down about 30% over the last 12 months or so, although no doubt getting a big boost to today. That was certainly ahead of today's performance. But the market value has also fallen from about $7 billion. Previously, they've had 3 chief executives in the last few years, and that, of course, coming off the back of the CEO initially going over to Levi Strauss. So there have been some concerns about Kohl's finances as well. A few highlights as far as some of the developments there. They recently changed the payment terms with vendors, so some do associate that with efforts to try to save some money. They've been obviously pushing ahead with some of these turnaround efforts. They've been expanding some departments, focusing more on exclusivity with some of these brands, focusing on promotions, on more stuff, and adding Sephora, of course, to their stores. But, you know, it's been really interesting as well, because since the last earnings report that we got, Nicole, Kohl's got caught up, obviously, in the whole meme craze recently, and their shares jumped at like 35% off the back of this whole return or comeback of the meme stock craze. And retail investors weren't buying that on any sort of fundamentals or tangible story. This was the fact that they had cottoned on to the fact that there seemed to be a degree or a level of short interest in the stock. So, you know, that's obviously a story that we've been tracking in the last couple of months as well.
Yeah, it's one of the most heavily shorted stocks that's listed. And so each time you see a big pop, you have to wonder, is it full on optimism or is it some short covering? And look, I mean, people are looking for value. Sephora and rolling that out brought optimism for their outlook. This is Ulta and Target broke up, right? I mean, so that might be good news. Sort of surprised to see a retailer like this doing so well, especially because department stores are also not that great, but they do provide value and people look for value.
That's right. Customers are value hungry. We've learned that this season. We have seen the bifurcation in the consumer. That's certainly something that McDonald's had highlighted. So as we look across some of the retailers, those in the off-price retailing have been doing quite well, as obviously you know, we know that people's wallets have been stretched, and they are looking obviously for more affordable products. So it is interesting, obviously, to see a department store like this doing so well. So I think, you know, a lot of what's been reflected today in the share price is perhaps coming off the back of some upside surprise, you could say, Nicole, given some of the trends that we've been seeing.
Yeah, understood. All right, let's turn our attention over to PVH. Has some great names under its umbrella. Some of the thoughts here.
Yes, so we are seeing shares up today. This is off the back of a bit of a mixed quarter for PVH. So it was an earnings beat. Revenue was also up 4% year on year. So that cleared the bar. But you could say, particularly from some of the analysts that I've been speaking to in the lead up to this earnings report, that the bar was almost a bit low heading into this. Analysts had been expecting actually a low growth quarter because of the big focus right now on the turnaround story over at PVH with the PVH Plus plan. So they have been trying to cut costs. They've been trying to elevate Calvin Klein and Tommy Hilfiger, of course, two of the big brands under that umbrella. The CEO has come out saying that they have been taking a disciplined execution of the PVH PVH Plus plan. They continue to lean further into Calvin Klein and Tommy Hilfiger's iconic brand strength. We've got a visitor. He's taking notes of this earnings report. Do you wear Calvin Klein or Tommy Hilfiger? Oh, okay, he wants to join the conversation as well. But we are talking about the regional performance as well. The Americas performed quite well. EMEA revenue increased, but APAC revenue actually declined, which was fascinating. Some people actually say that this could have been down to a bit of pull forward ahead of the tariffs. Now, I know you've been thinking about tariffs quite a lot. That's very much on this guy's mind here. But, you know, tariffs are very interesting, obviously, for this company because they have got the performance in the international markets, which may manage to offset. And there goes my coffee, Nicole.
Look, I mean, the big picture here is, by the way, we have Ohio State's mascot here, right? Okay. Big Ten, a lot of these names here are here for Abbott for the blood drive today for the opening bell. So we've had a lot of fun here. And, of course, big fans of Ohio State. I mean, you could send Sparty over here, too, if you'd like. One of my, I know. Okay, sorry. Anyhow, so, so that's what's going on here on Wall Street. And Sam, just a quick thought on Cracker Barrel.
Oh, just such a fascinating story. So obviously we've seen the share price recovering, and this came off the back of some backlash around the rebrand. That was called a flop. Those were the company's words, not mine, but they scrapped the plans to adopt the new logo after some backlash. So the new version of the logo came out, I think it was around last week, and this was coinciding with the new menu. So it was kind of like a minimalist version of what we'd previously been used to with this logo. And herein lies the problem there. They got rid of the man sitting on the chair. That's him. There he is, leaning on the barrel. He's known as the old timer, and he was replaced, as I said, with just the logo name. So that's where the criticism stemmed, that people were upset that they were getting rid of the old timer. The company was abandoning its roots, Nicole. People getting very nostalgic about this. But Trump got involved as well, and this is the interesting part. He criticized the rebrand, calling the company to change the logo. He then came out once they had shifted things back to the original logo. Congratulations on changing the logo back to what it was. The fans appreciate it. Good luck in the future. Make lots of money and make the customers happy again. So he has also been talking about the fact that the company got billions of dollars worth of free publicity. So they need to play their cards right and make Cracker Barrel a winner again. So shares actually fell after the announcement, but were back up off the back of the change to the logo. So they listened to the people, Nicole.
Yeah, all right. So we have Northwestern here and Oregon. So obviously an exciting day here on Wall Street. I can't necessarily cheer for you guys. I might have to lean towards. I have to lean towards the Spartans. But anyhow, if you're a big fan here, we're a big fan of yours, and thank you for stopping by. You're doing a great job. Keep it up. All right, folks. Well, stocks right now have turned into the green. You guys brought some optimism to Wall Street. Right now, the Dow is up 119 points and the S&P gaining about 2 points. Yeah, and, you know, I think we have some new friends here. Thanks for being with us, guys. Morning Trade Live. We'll be right back.